Well, Shalom. This is a video saying that the cult of Saturn are going to bring in a new law tomorrow that's called gay marriage on the 29th of March 2014 in the United Kingdom, in England and Wales. And I believe that it's a little bit later for Scotland, and that's why we've been getting very strong floods in England and Wales. Getting Scotland hit a little bit, but I believe that after tomorrow, let us just see the calm before the storm, or if there is any judgments that God actually sends tomorrow, England and Wales. Tomorrow, they're going to start gay marriage for real. Now, marriage itself is a religious institution that's only found in the Bible. It was actually started in the Bible, and even Islam, apparently their belief system pretty much started off with certain scriptures as well about Abraham and so on. Okay, they're called Semitic religions, and also Judaism. But within Judaism is the cult of Saturn, in which the Israelites were guilty. If you read the book of Exodus, they worshipped the god Saturn, or Tuin, or Rephan. That was their god. Okay, that was the god that they gave devotion to while they were in Egypt. Okay, why they did this, I'm not entirely certain, because they were meant to be the Lord's people. They were meant to inherit the promises of Abraham. But apparently, in their 490 years in Egypt, they had developed some very, very bad habits, and they had actually forgotten the commandments of God. And this is another reason we have to speak the message of being born again to the nations, because the knowledge of these commandments are today lost. Okay, a lot of people think that Christianity and its very wide road to destruction is the way to heaven, and only Jesus Christ is the way to heaven, people. And actually, by knowing Jesus Christ, you will actually acknowledge that Jesus Christ came to fulfill the law and not to destroy it, exactly what he spoke. Now, if you don't confirm what Jesus Christ spoke, then you're speaking another word. You're speaking out with the Holy Spirit. Okay, don't care what church you go to again. So this has got to be a time now where the judgments of God have seriously got to be noticed by the nations, because there already has been some very, very amazing things happening in the nations to start the nations. Trumpet sounds, earthquakes, huge, abductions, a huge number of things. Animals and insects becoming giant in their structure. There's a web page today looking at spiders from South America actually reaching in the region of about 6 feet in length. There's been reports of actual dinosaurs in parts of the Congo and in Central Africa and so on. These are obviously places that people haven't gone, but there is still rainforest left. Amazingly, there's still places where these animals can dwell. But as we see, that the world is gradually, slowly being destroyed of its resources and its minerals, and within, I think, 20 years, in fact 10 years, I believe, that we'll actually run out of fossil fuels. So that's why the governments in Europe, most of them are actually funding solar panels, because the bills are going up so high now. And if anybody's got half a brain, they'll actually invest in solar panels now, because it's the way forward. If you can possibly, I believe you can possibly build them very cheaply, even with tin cans. You can actually make a little panel where you can just basically link up to a circuit, and you can generate some electricity from that. Very, very simple apparatus. I believe that people will really have to prepare now, and it's not the fact as if that I'm prepared now. Basically, the people around me have basically deserted me in my life. They've basically just written me off. They've used me. They have lied to me, and to get what they wanted, whether it be money or whatever it is. But obviously the Lord, what they've taken from me, the Lord has taken away from them even more. So whatever peace that they actually had, where they actually observed the covenant with me, they don't have peace anymore. I don't believe that they have peace anymore, because they have forgotten the covenant by which we should keep God's commandments, and that is the true covenant of God. And in that covenant, that we shouldn't observe any same-sex marriages, okay? Because if you look at Sodom and Gomorrah, yes, it had very many sins, like sodomy was just one of these many sins that were in these wicked cities of the plain. But also you look at a more recent city called Pompeii, and it was believed that there was sodomy going on there. There's a great range of sins going on there. And Pompeii was destroyed in a very similar way to Sodom and Gomorrah. It was actually destroyed by a volcano which erupted and it wiped out the city. And there has been various judgments on the earth that go out with Sodom and Gomorrah, but the same for each one is that the sin of sodomy is very prominent in it, and God just hates that sin, because why then did God even bother creating Eve if all men are going to do is abuse their bodies like that? God created a helpmeet for Adam called Eve, and it's given that, marriage isn't very easy these days, that there's a lot of feminism, a lot of feminist ideas today that are basically suppressing the true potential of the man, of the entire household, because obviously these women don't recognize their place in the home, they don't recognize their place as mothers, they want to also go out and work, and it means that the children are then suffering as well. Certainly my mother didn't do that for a large extent, and later on she went out to work, but even then it's not really a woman's place to do these things, even though she wanted to do it, and think we just in favour of encouraging her to do that. But at the end of the day, it's still a woman's place to actually keep the home and be prayerful, be a prayer warrior, and turn out good children, whether it be boys or girls, turn out well dressed, nicely mannered children who actually can tell right from wrong. And that's a part of the family today that's been almost destroyed by the feminist movement. I guess a lot of people might disagree with me about that, but I've got to mention that because it comes within homosexual marriage. Obviously lesbians now getting married and trying to adopt children. Well, God have mercy on us all. Thanks for listening.